Any questions?
What's from Nachman's standpoint?
Well, loud and clear.
I know we're coming towards the end, and hopefully Mirza Hashem Mashiach's going to be here. But right now we're going through this like kufa of fighting all these
Enemies.
Yeah. But what's Rav Nachman's take, I guess? Every morning we wake up, we read Yeshiva World, and we see, unfortunately, there's 2 soldiers, 1 soldier, 5 soldiers, and these are religious from Jews. It's very rare you see even non from Jews, fighting in the front lines at this point. Because it seems like, our Yisrael, the Medina, as you call it, is sort of only putting in the front lines, people who are Orthodox and people who do have Yom Kazan. And every morning we wake up with devastating news. How does from a Breslov standpoint, how do you stay strong and constantly remind yourself that no, it's for the good and stay positive?
We had one of the 24 books of Tanakh is Daniel. Right? Chapter 7 in Daniel has a vision that Daniel saw a large goat that had 10 horns. Right? The Metzudas David there explains that the 10 horns are 10 tribes of Yishmael, of Arab. In the latter part of life, today's day and age, when we have to face the enemy, right? These 10 horns basically represent the 10 Arab nations that are the most volatile. And he explained, he brings different cities there. Isfahan, which is in Iran, Mecca, which is in Saudi Arabia. You have all these different things. We are in the end of time, and this is what Rabbi Nachman would speak about, right? Daniel told us what's going to happen. It's going to happen this way, and there are going to be sacrifices. Blood will be spilled. Anyone who thinks that you can get to your goal without what we call Mesiras Nefesh, without what we call self-sacrifice, those who are taken in battle are basically the cream of the crop. Those who have the emunah, they're willing to fight for Eretz Yisrael, right? You won't have, like the pilot said before October 7th, they don't agree with Bibi and they're not going to fight. Pilots, Israel Air Force, they're not going to fight, right? The chutzpah of it, but there's very few from pilots, very few, right? Most of them are not from. And that they don't have the feeling for Eretz Yisrael, for the land that we have. Let's take a Chumash Rashi, right? Reb Nosson has in the Kutei Halachos a tremendous thing. Chumash starts off, Bereshis Bora Elikim, Es HaShamayim V'Es HaOretz. The first Rashi, the very first Rashi says, why does this Torah start with the story of creation? Should have started, the Torah was given to us for mitzvahs. Why doesn't it start with mitzvahs? He brings the Medrash, second piece in Medrash Rabbah. The Medrash says that we start with Bereshis to show that Hashem created the world. It belongs to Him. Okay? Hashem created the world, it belongs to Him, and to whomever He wishes, He gives it. So maybe the Canaanim had the land, or the Palestinians claim it's their land, right? Today, right? Not just what Rashi's saying 1,000 years ago, but the Palestinians, it's their land, right? You tell them that Hashem created the world, He gave it to you, but He took it from you and He gave it to us, right? I use a contemporary example. You're in the General Assembly of the UN, right? That glass theater in New York, right? They have 180 nations or who knows what, right? The Palestinian representative gets up there and says, the land is ours. right? And then you have all the peace-loving nations of the Middle East, like Iraq and Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Sudan, you know, all the rest of them, the Houthis, whatever, the cavemen in Yemen, right? They all say, we second the motion. It's Palestinian land. Okay. Comes the Israeli ambassador representing the entire Jewish nation, and he says, Rabbi Sai, 180 nations, Goyim sitting there. Rabbi Sai, I understand your claim. You claim the land is yours. But I have to tell you that Hashem created the world, and he gave the land to us. And if you don't believe me, look in Rashi. Right? You know how big that's going to go over in the General Assembly? So Reb Nosson asks, what's Rashi telling us? Right? And Reb Nosson answers incredibly. He says, he's not saying you answer the Goyim that Hashem created the world. He's saying you believe that Hashem created the world. You believe, you as a Jew. There are many leftists in Eretz Israel. You're asking why the Frum, right? There are many leftists in Eretz Israel that say give the land to the Arabs. They're like us. Is an Arab like me? How are you not embarrassed to say something like that? But they say it. That's the leftist mentality. Take a look at what's there. Wherever the Arab goes, there's destruction. Right? Take a look at all the campus revolutions. Take a look at what goes on in England, what goes on in Amsterdam. Wherever the Arab is, there's fights, there's war, there's killing. Take a look. Just look at it. Look at Syria. Right? The Syrian leader killed over 600,000 of his own men. Right? What's going on? The rightist, the Frum people, right, they may have extremists, they may have extreme views too. It's possible. But at least they believe in the land. Right? The leftists don't. And that's why most of the sacrifices are from the religious people. Okay? Any questions? Questions?
What's the story behind that song?
Digging for Brussels.
A couple of pieces.